Navigate Biz webinar, why sales are important. You know, every business survives on sales. That is the transaction where currency moves from your customer through into your business, and that, you know, that becomes the lifeblood of the business. You know, many other components once that happens, but ultimately that is the start of the business, making sure that you have the ability to get that revenue flowing through the business. Now, often forgotten that as a business owner, we're the head of sales. And so, you know, even, you know, regardless of what type of business you are, if you're an owner operator in business, or you got, you know, just one or two people in business, you are the head of sales. But the funny thing is that it's often lost on us. You know, many of us don't like to get involved in the sales side of the business. We don't want to do the sales. We certainly don't enjoy it, many of us. And often we don't even want to talk about it. Maybe some of you have been in a role where you've been in sales, and you know, particularly at a whether it's some kind of function, a family event, a barbecue with friends, we sort of get a bit funny about talking about that we're in sales, and we start to give it all these funny, you know, we're in business development, or we're in a form of marketing, rather than actually saying we're in sales. Yet sales is just a part of our everyday lives. You know, sales is just you know, an action that we use to sort of steer conversation, you know, to adjust outcomes, and we do that in many forms of our lives. You know, so, you know, sales is so important. We call it the fuel for the business, because, you know, if there is no sales, you've got no revenue, you've got no cash flow, and eventually you've got a dead business. So as I said before, as the business owner, you need to sell, and it is ultimately your responsibility to make sure the sales are happening in that business. And sometimes, you know, if you're an owner operating the business, that is you making sure it happens. So if you relate to a lot of this I talk about, now it's time to change. We're going to go through some of the key points that you can implement within your business. Here, we're going to give you some of our top tips. These are 5 tips that are all within our Navigate Biz Sales Mastery course, but you're going to get these 5 tips free today, as we often do these free webinars here for all business owners. We want to make sure that everyone's got the best information available. If you just jumped in here, Joanne is in the chat there, so by all means, jump in the chat and ask your questions in there. It's not just me on my own here today, so we field those questions as we go through. And the power of these tips shouldn't be understated. So big that they can change your life, and that's been my experience. Is the better that I've refined my sales capability, the better that I have, you know, made sure that sales is at the forefront of any business. It you know, certainly improved my life in the ways that how I can impact other people within my life. So do not underestimate the importance of these top tips we're going to go through here today. Okay, so tip number 1. Target systems and process. Now, if you've got pen and paper handy, I would really urge you to write these down. I do believe we'll send these slides out on a follow-up email, but I do find it best if you can write down these tips as we go, and some of the things that we talk about that will resonate there with you. So targets, you need to set meaningful targets that really matter, targets that will inspire you, aspirational targets. So to do that, you need to go out and to look at what is possible. See, when many people in business go and create a sales target, they often think about, what is the number I need to sell to survive? Or, you know, how do we just get to pay the bills here? And, you know, and really that's not tapping into what your potential is. It's not tapping into any possibilities here. But what you need to do is think about what is actually really possible out there. What is the market size, and what can you do? So, you know, key components that is knowing your product, know your market, know the maths and the ratios that sit behind all that. So what is the size of the market? How many people can we can get out and get the attention of? Then, you know, how do we get those into the funnel within the business? What's our conversion rates to get them down through that? Now, this means different things to different businesses. We know that, but you really got to start to think about these things as how do they relate to your business, your industry? Okay, so know the ratios within that. What is the total market size? What is the demographics are going to relate to us? And then how do we just chunk that down into each of the conversion channels? Do we have some introductory products? Do we have the ability to build relationship? Then how do we convert to the next level, and ultimately to the checkout stage? So know the maths around that. Communication, all important. How do you communicate within from within your business out to the marketplace? And what's the systems and processes that you use to make sure that you're at the forefront of the minds of not just your existing customers, but the total marketplace, the marketplace as a whole. Caring about your customer and the outcome and the impact. Make sure that is weaved into everything you do in the business. Caring about your customer. How often do you think about that as you're trying to get through the tasks of the day? Go through the customer journey, what's really important there, and the outcome and the impact that has. And we'll talk about why that's really important in sales shortly, but the outcome and the impact of your business, your product, your service to the customer. Know who the decision maker is. Again, depending on your industry, that can mean different things, but always know who the decision maker is around getting an outcome there. Okay, target systems and process. So let's break this down. At the top of the funnel, how many people out there in the marketplace would buy or could buy from your business? Not just how many you need, but how many could buy or would buy from your business. That's really where it starts. Many people go starting back much lower, but you've got to look at the total market opportunity. Then we go through how many you can reach. What's within your capability right now to go out and reach? Then what things can you change to increase that reach? How many do you need to contact each quarter, each month, each day, each hour? And we talk about knowing your maths. Sales is about breaking these things down. Breaking down the maths of this. How many people do I need to contact in the next minute, the next 1 hour, and today? Like, you've just got to keep that cadence up. That's what keeps you going. It's that consistency. Then the follow-up, the poor old lost and forgotten follow-up. How many times do you need to follow up and contact people to close the sale? Many people, think, oh, well, I've rung that person, they're not interested. There's all of the statistics out there that tell us the sale is often made somewhere between the 5th and the 12th follow-up. But you've just given up after one. We've got to look at that. What's that follow-up cycle like? And within your business, have you included the follow-up cycle in your process? Talk about systems and process. Have you got follow-up in there? Have you got contact? What is the cadence of your contact? And then closing the sale. So we'll go through these as individual components as we go through this. So market reach, how can you get out there and reach the market? What is the contact, quote, and sales ratios as you go out and reach these people? Keep that in mind. Again, pen and paper handy. Keep writing these down as we're talking about this. Emails. Do you understand? Are you sending out emails to the wider marketplace now? Are you building database? Are you contacting these people? And if you are you monitoring your opens, your clicks, your unsubscribes, and your bounces? Are you cleansing this? Are you really understanding these numbers that we're talking about? If not, that's fine. It's completely fine to not understand them, but start to research them, because this is all part of the sales process. Communicating with your customer. What information do you want them to have? What's going to be in those emails? And how do we move them along the funnel that we've just gone through? Website visits. Do you know the numbers? What page are people going to? What does that journey look like? How long are they staying on the page? That's really important. How long have you got their attention? See, how long you've got their attention changes the content that you have on that website. If you've only got 45 seconds, 60 seconds to grab attention, you better make sure you got something real good on there when they get to that website. When do they visit that website? What time of the day? These things. Do you know these numbers? Do you know these ratios? Phone calls. Are you making phone calls with your business? Are you making outbound phone calls out to the marketplace? How many calls? How often? When and what time? Break it down. What's working? What time of the day does work with your demographic, with your database? Your store visits, whether that's physical store or e-store, both are important, but whichever one it is, are you monitoring the numbers within that? How did the people get to the store? Did they buy? Do you have abandoned carts if it's an e-commerce store? Again, know the numbers. Okay, point number 2, as we move through these 5 top tips here, is about belief and conviction. Now, if you want to get good at sales, you really need to believe in what you're doing. You need to have conviction when you're having a discussion, when you're presenting your information or your product or your service to the customer. So, do you believe in what you're doing? Sounds a very basic question, I know, but the reality is that many people out there are treating their business just as a job. It's just my 8 to 5 job. It's just what I do to make an income. There's very little belief behind that. That statement or scenario that I just mentioned, it's just my job. It's just what, I've been a great builder. I've been an accountant. I've been like, this is now I've got my own practice, whatever it is. This is my job. This is how I derive my income here. There's very little belief in that. So go back and look at your business model as to why you're doing what you're doing and build up the belief. Are you providing value to people? Is there enough value in what you're doing? And do you speak to your customers? Do you speak about your product? Do you speak about your company? Do you speak about your brand and what you do? Do you speak about it with conviction? Do you wholeheartedly believe in what you're doing? That you're there for the customer, you're there to make a difference. So let's get into this a little deeper, because this is really important. If you want to get good at selling, you need to believe this stuff. So you're totally convinced in what you're offering. You need to know that it's something amazing. You need to know, that you are offering value, that you're making a difference. Go back and break it down. Look at the components of your business and look at how you can create value to the customer via your product. What is it about your product that's great or not great that you may need to go back and adjust? See, the thing is I don't want you to look at this slide and go, oh, yeah, we've got a good product. Go back. How do I improve these things? Because this here is not a chat around validating how great you are. This is around improvement of where you are. Can I provide more value through the product? Can I go back and look at the suppliers of the product? Maybe can I change a brand? Maybe can we get something changed within the product itself that enhances the value to the customer? What support do I offer? How could I improve that? Our service, when someone walks into a physical store, jumps on our website, has a query, how do we respond? Do we respond as though that customer really as it really matters to us, that we really care about the outcome from that person, not necessarily someone that's already purchased, but someone that may purchase, possibly purchase, speak to someone else who may possibly purchase? Have we thought about our location and how easy it is for that customer to find us? See, the more that we can start to build validation and all of these things, more we can start to build our belief in what we're doing. By going back and examining these things and going, you know what, this is pretty good. Oh, yeah, this is good. We start to build up our own validation piece around about how much value we're providing to the marketplace, which changes the way we speak to our customers and prospects about our business? You know, are we in a location that makes it easy for the customer? Is it easy? And location, again, digitally, still important. Location is Google. Where does your business come up on the Google search? And if you haven't been around long enough to be able to get yourself up there organically, are you making the commitment to the customer to get, you know, to pay to get yourself elevated up there, to make it easier for them to find you? Are you associating your business with the right AdWords or the right keywords? Have you thought about the lifetime cost for the customer of your product or service? And importantly, what's the opportunity cost to the customer if they don't come and purchase from you? What does their life look like without your product or service in their life? Have you got the type of business that you can bring people into a community? Like us here at Navigate Biz, we talk about a community of business owners where you can come in and you can talk about the things that are working with your business, that aren't working with your business. You know, you can get feedback on different ideas and concepts, you know, potentially market research within the community. Are you providing a community for your marketplace, for your potential customers? These things all build up your belief in what you're doing. Build up the belief, starts to get you in a position where you're talking about your business and your product and your service much more confidently. So communication, who is your customer? Do you know who your customer is? Do you know the demographics of your customer? Now, you can sit there and say, yeah, well, I deal with lots of different people. There's no, you know, there's all sorts of different walks of life. Oh, you know, we deal with this and that and everything else. But if you really start to look at it, you'll be able to break down some commonalities. And when you start to give the attention around breaking, you know, looking, watching, learning, scoping back through the data, working out who the customer types we've got here on the slide, persona 1, persona 2, start to merge these features into these personas, you can start to work out how to speak to your customer. You know, where are they? What are they like? What do they dislike? What's their pain points? How do you get your attention? How do you get the attention? Is in the way you act, the way you speak, where you place your business. You know, what platforms. You know, if you're looking at posting on social media, what are your platforms that you're posting on? Are they the platforms that match up to these personas, or are they just the ones that you know and that you use? Are you thinking about the customer? Do your customers have a certain expectation around, you know, who you are, what you stand for, and the language you use, and how you speak? So let's look at all the different ways that you can communicate. And I would suggest that you should be looking at every single one of these and more, not just narrowing down to one or two of these, but actually going wide with communication. In person, of course. Courier and postage. Are you in the sort of business that you can send stuff out, send information out, you send out hard copies? Text messages. Have you built a database where you've got people's phone numbers, their emails? Are you making outbound phone calls? Are you setting appointments over video calls? See, we get stuck in excuse mode very often because, oh, we just don't have enough hours in the day. Are we thinking about how we can create more calls within the day? Are we blending all of these things? Right, I'm going to go and I'm going to have my 5 face-to-face calls here today, and I'm going to make 3 phone calls in between each of those face-to-face calls. And then first thing in the morning before I leave the house, and last thing in the evening, I'm going to get in 1 or 2 video calls at each end of the day to get another couple in. And also I'm going to have set up through my email platform that there's going to be 5,000, 50,000, 500,000 emails sent out through the course of the day. Have I got my automated text messages set up on my CRM platform? So we're reminding customers about whatever it is that we're talking about in the business this particular month. See, are you creating time or are you creating excuses? Which is it? See, there's plenty of time for sales when you've got the belief systems in place, you've got the targets that excite you and motivate you. What we talked about right at the start of this, making sure that you've got great big targets that are aspirational targets that excite you about what if we did get that number? And you've got the systems and processes in place that allow you to communicate amongst all of these different platforms here. Right, as we talk about communication, then the natural thing from that is how do we speak about our business? Commonly known as the sales pitch. Maybe you like that, or maybe you don't, but ultimately we're talking about how do you speak about your business. So when we go through our Navigate Business Bootcamp, one of the first things that we do early on in that process is we talk about, tell us about what it is you do. What does your business do? We have a group share around that. What do you do? And after about 3 or 4 minutes of someone going through their pitch, you sort of start to lose the attention span, eyes start glazing over. And what you've got to do is refine. What you want to get the pitch right. You want to get what you're saying about your business right, so that within 15 to 20 seconds that you can start to spark curiosity. I always use the story here at this point where I take myself back as a 19, 20-year-old selling photocopiers. And that if you walk into a lawyer's office or accounting practice or an architect's office and ask them about their photocopier, you've probably got about 10 seconds before you get shown the door. How do you start to spark curiosity in the conversation? And it's certainly not by building out a 3, 4, 5-minute pitch, garbling on about what it is you do. Talk about how you can help others in a short, succinct way. 15, 20 seconds. I help people realize their dreams by building a better business. Think about how you can refine this. And it doesn't happen in 2 seconds, but definitely if you keep practicing, you will be able to refine it down over time. Create curiosity in the person on the other end of the conversation so that they are asking you the questions. Talk about the problem that you're solving. Share your USP. That's a unique selling proposition. We do this by, what is it that you're doing unique? Why should someone deal with you? Why would someone want to? Define your goal. What is your business there to do? Is it there to earn you an income? And that's not particularly inspiring, right? What does the customer want to understand that you're there to do? At Navigate Biz, we want to reduce the failure rate of business. What difference is your business making? Now, we're all making a difference, or we all have the opportunity to make a difference, but do you give it enough thought to entwine that, to weave that in to the way you talk about your business? Again, practicing, talking to customers, refining that pitch, role play, discuss different scenarios with your colleagues or friends or mentors like us here at Navigate Biz. Go through the different scenarios where you may have different objections. See, practice will move you towards perfection. Keep talking through those objections. Practice will make you better. Don't be afraid of the no's. The no's are one step closer to the yes. The no's, more importantly, are a learning opportunity. Why do you think they said no so quickly? How can you capture their attention? How can you build into your speak relevance for you and your business? And tip number 5, close the sale. Once you've identified the need for your product, and most importantly, not just you identified, but actually the customer has identified the need for your product, the benefit of your product. They've identified how your product or service would benefit them. Once you've gone through and then done that, learn to recognize when it's time to close. Don't sit back. Just you need to, once you've demonstrated that your product or service is beneficial, that you understand that you're there with the decision maker, that some way, shape, or form that the customer's day, life, whatever will be enhanced by what you do as opposed to the other option that they've got, or sitting back and not doing anything, then it's simply about, is there any reason why you don't want to buy this product or service now? Or can we book you in now? Can we get you to the better place now? See, when you believe that you're making a difference, when you are making that improvement for them, not just about you or your target or what you need, what your quota is, when it's about them, the whole process becomes a whole lot easier. Ask for the business. And most importantly, if you can't get it, find out why. How do you get better? What do you need to adjust? How do you need to improve your value proposition? What's the problem within the process? What's the stumbling block? Look, I understand your point of view, but I really need to understand, what is it that we could have done better here? Just go in and ask the question, close the sale. So let's have a recap here as we round this out here. Think about how you thought of sales yesterday, or at least coming into this here. What changes will you make in your business that will help you achieve the success that you want? Get your pen and paper handy. Just think about this as we wind this out. Think about how you were thinking of sales as you went into this, and think about the changes that you can make now to help you achieve the success in your business. Also, I want you to think about what your sales target is. Now, we know here at Navigate Biz that a huge proportion of small businesses do not even have a sales target. We understand that. And an even higher proportion, the sales target is way, way, way too low. Get out there and think about what is possible in the marketplace. There's never a shortage of people buying. There is a shortage of creativity. There's a shortage of activity. Don't sell yourself short. Make sure that you can achieve your potential. Do you believe your business is making a difference? Write this down. Do you believe your business is making a difference? Do you know your customer? What is the traits? What are those personas around the customer? And start practicing those skills. If you're looking for somewhere to do that, jump in our Facebook platform at Navigate Biz. Jump in there. Share a video. Talk about your business, what it is. Get some feedback. Get some real world feedback, so that you can make those refinements. Don't be too proud. Try and get better. And then ultimately, make sure that you don't forget to close the sale. So as we jump out of this here, many of you will have taken down notes. You will be able to go back away and you'll be able to improve your sales, refine your sales, improve your process, improve your revenue and the other areas of your business. But for those of you that need help, you need that extra help to make these improvements. For those of you that are looking for, just that little bit of a handhold, that little bit of extra help from Joan and myself, scan that QR code there and come and sign up for our Sales Mastery course, where we take you through step by step of how you can improve all those tips. We can make it relative back to your business and make sure that you can get the business that you deserve to have, which will provide you with the life that you always wanted. So scan that QR code there and come and join up on our Sales Mastery course, so we can get this critical piece of your business much, much better for you, and that you can be much happier with doing it, not dreading needing more sales, not dreading knowing where am I going to find my customers from. Come and join our sales mastery course and let us help you make it real super easy for you. Okay, so thank you so much for coming and join us today on this on these 5 great tips on how to get your business better. And if you need more information about any other aspect of your business, please jump on navigatebiz.com and take a look at all our free information. Also, don't forget to go and sign up for our podcasts, jump in our YouTube videos, all of those things. And please subscribe, actually. If you're going to go and jump in those and you enjoy any aspect of it, the information, please make sure that you subscribe to those channels. And that just helps us get our message out to even more business owners just like you.